Hi, everyone. Welcome to Electronic Campfire number 2. I hope we're broadcasting this live stream stuff. There is something about doing this live that if you're a perfectionist like I am, where you have to have everything perfect, doing a live stream is about probably the most stressful thing you can do. Just a few minutes ago, I had the batteries go down on this XT3. I have it plugged into AC power, but for some reason that's not working. Anyway, long story short, I'm here. How are you all doing? It's great to see you on this Friday afternoon. Who is here today? We have, Florian. Oh, we got everybody. Andrew, Eric, Mr. Jarble. How you doing? I love Mr. Jarble. Christoph, and we got everybody here. Wow, Steve. And so let me get orientated here. I've got, every time I do this, I'm getting a little bit better at it. Like I had an intro, right? So I'm getting a little better each time. I'm using brand new software that helps me do the live stream by controlling the different cameras and things like that. So I predict probably after maybe 6 shows or so, I will have this down to the point when I start it, I won't even be talking about the live stream. I'll just go right into it. So anyhow, today's topic is luck and your photography. And luck is a great topic. And in fact, we're going to look at some photos. But before we do, I want to bring a quote up for you. And that is, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And there is a lot of truth to that. And, you know, luck in photography, you can get lucky shots. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to show you some of those shots. But you can also get lucky with your photography business. You could meet the right clients, right? You could, have the right photo shoots line up in all the right places. And how much does luck play a role? And then there's the question that people don't like to talk about. And that is, what happens if you put all of this hard work into something and you don't ever have any good luck and nothing good happens? You don't make it. And photography and videography and filmmaking, professional sports and acting have that problem in their profession. You know, you can study and become a doctor, and as long as you pass the exams and put in the work, and it's hard, show up and do that and have the mind for it, pretty much you're probably going to be in demand. But let's talk about an actor who wants to become a movie star and apply this to a photographer, okay? An actor can spend years going to acting classes every day, participating in community theater, constantly keeping their body in shape and learning different languages and learning different ways of acting, method acting and all that, trying everything they can do, going on every single audition they possibly can, while they're bussing tables at a restaurant. And at some point, it's very possible that this actor could wind up, wind up, and 40 years of his or her life have passed and they never really made it. Sure, maybe they had a bit part in a show, but maybe they did some theater, but they never made it. They never became a movie star. They never were a success in their mind. And so hard work, all of the hard work in the world doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to make it in any business, but particularly the arts. And however, the thing that I want to tell you is what I've found is that, think of it this way. There are actors, just as there are photographers, who are out there every day learning their cameras, learning their craft, doing all that. And the harder they work, the more skill they're acquiring. And the more skill they're acquiring, and here's the important part, the more ready they're going to be when they get that moment, when that moment strikes. What do I mean by that? I don't know. They're walking down the street in a shopping mall and a casting director sees them and goes, "You're perfect for this part. Come in and I want you to audition tomorrow at 9:00 a.m. Boom, you're going to play a wheelchair-bound person with Down syndrome." Okay, go. And if you haven't done the studying, and photography, let's say, okay, you meet somebody at a dinner party and they know somebody who needs a photo shoot done, and it's a fashion photo shoot, and if you've done the hard work and you know your camera settings and you're ready to go, you can have a higher likelihood of doing a good job when that luck strikes and then turning that into opportunity. So hard work and luck interplay. You have to have the hard work. You don't always have to have the luck, but it's possible, and just to say it, that you could put in all the hard work and still be unlucky. And that happens. There's a lot of unemployed actors. So what do we do about it? Well, the number one thing you can do to improve your luck is to be kind to people, because really this world is run by people. And it is so easy today to have a successful whatever, YouTube channel, social media account, networking, server I'm setting up. It is so easy. And there's a reason it's easy. It's easy because so few people these days are not complaining, are kind, are not critical of other people, and you will stand out. So in your photography business, you have to treat every single person you meet and every client that you get as a guest in your own home. And they are your guest. They are your customer. And word of mouth is so powerful. And really, it comes down to a service-orientated business, more than it's ever been, because anyone on the planet can take pretty good photos with one of these, right? So what can't this do? It cannot provide good service, good advice, and be able to think artistically. Can't do that. So you need to do that. And that's where the hard work comes in. And it's funny because I have met more photographers in the past 3 years than I've met cumulatively in my entire lifetime. And the one constant that I see 100%, all of them who complain about the fact they don't have enough time to do X. I want to learn Capture One, but I just haven't gotten to it yet. I want to, I want to learn how to do, night portrait shooting. I want to do whatever. I haven't gotten to it yet. And my response to anyone, and I know some of you watching this have also told yourself that, I'm too busy, I'm too busy, I'm too busy. Real simple. My response to that is very easy. It's, may I see your smartphone, please? Okay, thank you. Open up screen time, because the amount of time people spend doing frivolous things, kind of consuming content, like, I don't know, watching live YouTube streams, right? What are you watching me for? You should be learning something. So, but there's some truth to that, right? Hard work means having to make decisions. It's a lot of little decisions, right? No, I'll do this instead. It's a lot of little decisions, and those little decisions add up. So if you combine being kind to people, being nice to people, being not so critical, with remembering what really does waste your time. Everybody has 24 hours in a day. Every single person, the most successful person you know and the biggest failure you know, they all have the same amount of time in the day. So what are the successful people doing differently? They're using their time better. They're using their time better. And so that will help create luck, right? That will help create luck for you. Okay. Always improve, always learn. There are people, and it's funny, I look at some of these photographers who I look at the camera settings and I think, of course, there are many videos I have not made, almost not made at the last minute, because I thought, why would I mention this? Everybody knows this already. I'm going to bore the audience. I'm going to put them to sleep. It's ridiculous. And I'll make a video on it, what the RGB histogram is. And I had no idea about that. I didn't even know what an RGB histogram was. And these are people that are quite successful photographers, and they're working hard, and maybe they don't know what an RGB histogram is, but they know how to connect with people, or they know how to do other things well, really well. So any education you get is good, but I would focus on, obviously, not just the camera, not just the lenses, not just the settings, but the people also, because it's so service-based. So that's kind of the luck part I wanted to talk about with the actual business side of this. Now, there is a whole other part, and that is getting lucky with your photography itself, with your shots. And I do want to mention that. Before I do, I just want to take a look, check in, make sure, first of all, I'm still live. Okay, great. All right. So who do we have here? Natalie, hello. We got Natalie and a number of people I see. Paula, hi. And as they're coming in here. Oh, Florian, I got one of your photos I'm going to show in just a second. So be sure you stick around, pal. Michael, Anthony, Nico, great to see you. People from all over the world, boy. I mean, yeah, this is too cool. So, it's funny about these live streams. I've been doing a live stream every week on Twitch, and where I just play video games with my kids, but it's a live stream. I mean, I actually do it in here. I have a green screen behind me and I play video games with my kids online, and I do it for about an hour, maybe every Saturday. And I don't get stressed about that at all. I don't even think about it. I turn the camera on and I get so involved. So it's not that the live stream is hard. It's what are you all thinking that's making me like, okay, is the color right? Because so keep that in mind when you're working in photography or anything else, that your reaction to other people and what they think of you or not think of you, or your photography or your photos or your composition or your lighting, that can really alter it. And it's not necessarily that learning good lighting is hard, but it's learning how to get over that fear of never being able to be as good as other people you see. I think that's harder. Hello, New York. Hello. This is so awesome. New Zealand. I mean, it's just around the world. What I wished was that this software, I could put a world map on, and anytime I saw somebody, I could hit a button and it would light up the map where they are. That would just be so cool. Hello from Bonjour, France. We got everybody. So let's look at some pictures. Now, I have the backstage area, and I have backstage members on a private Discord server where I asked them to submit one photo that they thought they got lucky at, that not necessarily it wasn't their skill. They just right time, right place, right events that happened. It doesn't even have to be a good photo, but a lucky photo. So I'm going to show you a few of those, including one that I took myself. And then after that, we'll do a few Q&As, and I'll probably be wrapping it up. So let's switch over. I hope this can work. Now, before I put these photos on the screen, a couple of things here. I don't have fancy graphics yet. I don't know how to do that. So I'm going to say the name of the photographer. I don't have a little copyright thing, but it is their work. They have given the okay for me to share. And so please respect that. And the other thing is the way that this screen displays it's almost too bright. So it might look like they're blowing some of their highlights. This is not their photography. This is my inability to get some of the equipment in here working in time for this stream. I'm going to try and turn down the brightness if I can. But when I did a little rehearsal before I went live, and I looked at some of the photos, and they looked almost too bright. But I'm going to try it now. We'll take a look at it. So let's switch over to the first photo. Are we still on? Yeah. Okay, so our first photo is from our backstage member, Florian Cortese. Cortese, I got it. I know I pronounced it right. And here it is right here. How awesome is this? Do you all see that? Okay, so he took this with an X-T3, and he used this lens right here. This is the Rokinon 12 millimeter. I think it's the f2, right, Florian? Chime in the comments. Is it f2? Yeah. So I think it's this lens, or maybe this is the cinema version, but it's a Rokinon 12 millimeter, f2. And he had it at ISO 3200 for 20 seconds. And it was a series of 15 photos that he took on an X-T3. And he used the intervalometer. He used, let me show you the setting on the camera. It was kind of cool. Let me see if I can make this work. Okay, boom. All right, so he went in, and he probably went into his little camera right here into interval timer shooting. And so he was in here, right, Florian? You were in here playing around with that. Okay, so anyway, let's get back to the photo. And it was taken at Teton National Park. And apparently light painting, you were not allowed to light paint. So he couldn't light paint. And so he got lucky because at the moment he went to take the photo, right? Take a look at this photo. At the moment he went to take the photo, a car drove by and light painted the scene. So what you're seeing with that lit up, that is a car, right? That's a car lighting it up with their headlights, that it just so happened to come right at that moment. And it's absolutely stunning. It's a beautiful shot. Well done, Florian. But, take a look at it again. Just, stunning shot. He could not have planned that. But, and this is the part where it's funny, because I said, give me your luckiest shot. Is it really luck? Well, yeah, the car went by, the headlights, yeah, that was luck. But his skill in setting up the X-T3, choosing the correct lens, choosing the correct ISO, blah, 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 all that stuff was from experience. So it's when experience and then you get that little dash of good luck come into play that you get a photo like this one right here, okay? Everyone see that one? Isn't that awesome? Okay. Oh, let's go to the next one. All right, we are now looking at one from Steve Hadeen. This is an X-T3 27mm focal range on a 16 to 55 millimeter lens at f/16 ISO 640 for 11 seconds. Okay, and here's what made it lucky according to Steve. He went to this location because I heard thunder. He said that catching this, obviously you cannot plan it. You can't stand out there with your, your 16 to 55 millimeter lens and go, okay, cue the lightning. That's what I would want to do, but you can't do that. So he couldn't have planned it. So he had he tripped the shutter for 299 images. He got 3 out of them. So he took 299 images and he only got 3 that are, worthy of showing on the Pal Tech channel, right? So here it is. And this was one of them. And it was so bright that it blew out my highlights and made it seem like daytime, even though it was 11:47 p.m. And he was able to retrieve the highlights because he shot raw. That is a huge argument to shoot raw, because when luck strikes, or lightning, when lightning strikes, you better be shooting raw, because yeah, you can blow it out. And the only way you're going to recover it, is with a raw file. So great shot, Steve. Well done. Thank you for submitting it. Okay, how are we doing, everybody? When looking here, okay. Philip caught a bird in mid-flight. Well done, Philip. Right. And lightning is really hard to catch. It scares the hell out of me. When it's lightning here in Georgia, you run for the indoors. You don't go outside. The last thing you're going to be doing is standing outside shooting. That lightning in Georgia will find you and strike you down. Right. So anyhow, okay, here we go. Let's go to the next one. All right. The next shot on here is from Matt Moreno. Now, Matt, I'm going to give Matt a little bit of a break. He did not shoot this with a Fujifilm, all right? He shot it with a Nikon. He used the D60 with a Nikkor DX 70mm to 200mm lens. He shot it at 200 millimeters at f/5.6, 1/1600th of a second. And he put it, okay, he said pre-Fujifilm days, so he's cool. And he said it's lucky for 2 reasons. The seagull was making such erratic movements, and he didn't think he could capture it. And he had his camera in automatic. That's a really good lesson for some of you who, there are some photographers that think, automatic. You know what? Automatic can save your butt when that moment strikes, because you may not have time. You may not have time to, well, let me see here. You don't have time sometimes. So automatic is not a bad thing. You should never be ashamed to shoot an automatic. Well done, Matt. That's a great shot. So, okay, moving on to the next one. Frank Goldman has a photo here, cropped photo with a Fujifilm X-T3. Everybody's shooting with X-T3, more than X-T4. This is all X-T3, folks. Original, let's see, crop photo with Fuji X-T3, 70 to 300 millimeter lens, doesn't remember the ISO. You don't remember the ISO setting? What's the matter with you, Frank? Come on. But he said that it's pretty high ISO. So the ISO is fairly high. Now, hold on a minute. Let me turn down the brightness. I'm going to turn down the brightness here for a second because I think it's blowing out his highlights. Okay, there we go. You see that? Is that better, Frank? Is that better? Okay, pretty high ISO if memory serves. Cheekwood Gardens in Nashville. So we got this pretty little woodpecker here. That's awesome. Okay, all right. So what I can do, I can turn down the brightness on some of these and improve them a little bit. Okay, so yeah, birds are hard to get. And I am not a very good wildlife and bird photographer. But wildlife, you really do need patience and probably more luck than any other kind of photography, I think. But well done. Really good job. Okay, so there's been some questions. Where did I get these photos? They came in through my Discord server through the Backstage members. I have a Discord server for them. We talk about a lot of stuff, and I had pitched the idea of sharing the photos. When I get more comfortable with this live stream setup stuff, I'll probably do a thing where, hashtag the photo Pal2Tech, and I will include it in these. But for right now, if I screw all this up, it's the Backstage people that I'm already more comfortable with because I've been connecting with them for so long. So that's why I went that route. And also it's a nice benefit for them to be able to critique their photos and look at them. So that's where they came from. Okay. The next one is a photo I took. Okay. Couple of things about it before I show it to you. First off, it was not taken with a Fujifilm camera. No Fuji at all. It was taken with a Sony. Okay. So it was a few years ago before I changed. So it was taken with a Sony, and it's not the greatest shot because I wasn't planning on shooting that. I was planning on shooting nature and wildlife, and I captured something completely different. Let me show it to you now. Here it is. Hold on. Boom. Here it is right here. Okay. This photo right here was shot in Guam. Okay. That little island way out in the middle of nowhere it's part of the US. Anybody from Guam on the live stream, you'll probably recognize where this is. So I shot this photo in Guam using a Sony A68 camera. This was shot with a 70-300 kit lens at f4.5, 1/80th of a second. And I believe the focal range, if I remember correctly, was around 150 millimeters or so. And again, I was pretty far back from where this was happening. Okay. I was standing trying to hide because here's the thing. I wasn't supposed to be there. I was on the beach shooting other things, and they were holding a wedding. And this was someone's wedding. And obviously, I'm not going to go and interrupt their wedding flow and start snapping photos. So I was pretty far away, and I zoomed in. But it's on a public beach. It's not like I crashed the wedding. It was on a public beach. I'm standing on a public beach with a camera with a long lens. I can definitely shoot them. So I composed the shot. But there's something about this moment. If you look, I don't know if you can see it close up, but just the expression on this guy's face, seeing his bride, it's just a moment that I felt that I got really lucky for me. There was just something about it that was special to see that much joy captured. It's when there's different things that you can capture. You can document something and capture a reality that happened. This happened. And when Vietnam happened, they were bringing back photos that were doing just that. Or you can also capture a quiet emotion that's just under the surface. And again, this shot right here is not technically incredible, but this moment is very special. And I love it because you can't see the bride. It's from behind, right? He sees it. So you are looking at the bride through his eyes. And so I love that. And in fact, the photographer that shot my own wedding, I hired a pro to shoot my wedding. I'm going to have him on my Done Over Perfect podcast. Michael, you're coming on there, buddy. If you're on this stream, I'm just saying. And I have some incredible photos. And what he was really good at capturing was not necessarily the subject, but the emotion of another subject looking at the subject. And that's really an important thing for your photography. So those were all, I think, great examples of lucky shots. And, I think that if you feel, and where are we at time? Oh, we're doing great on time. Okay. If you feel that you're not lucky, you may be right. Okay. I mean, I've had some pretty crappy luck this past 2 weeks, and I don't want to go into it all now, but if I could have canceled today's stream, I would have. If this stream was a regular video, I would have canceled it completely. By the time I published the video this morning, which was, in my view, half done, I was up very late last night editing it. I threw it up at 10 o'clock because I don't miss a publishing deadline, but it wasn't, I think, perfect how I like it. But I'm burned out. I feel burned out. So everyone goes through not having good luck and having a streak of bad luck. And it's how you react when it's bad luck that matters the most. And you just have to, what I do and what helps me is when I'm getting really bad luck with things, whether it's my photography, my filmmaking, this channel, I will just suddenly withdraw down and almost a macro, think of I take my, you know what I do? I take my zoom or my wide angle off, my view of the world. I take the wide angle lens off. Hold on, I need more props. I need this, and I need, I don't know, maybe this. Okay, no, I'll do, let's see here. What's the widest angle I got? Okay, a nice big wide angle. Okay, so 12 millimeters. Normally, right, I'm looking at the world. I don't believe I'm getting the cameras out. Well, of course I am. All right, so I'm looking at the world like this, all right, and wide angle view of everything, and when bad luck strikes, what I found is the most helpful thing of all, because if you look at everything, you can get overwhelmed, oh, this happened and that happened and this happened and that happened. Well, screw it, screw it. Just the hell with it. Take that lens off, right? Get rid of it. And put on this awesome, if I can get the lens on, a camera. Get this thing on. Okay. Put on a zoom lens and zoom in to something really tiny. So let's put this in context. Let's say it's your photography business. Zoom in to how your email signatures are, and is there anything you can do to improve that, right? Some photographers have their email signature, sincerely, and then their name, and then they have 9,000 links, scrolling all the way down to China in their email. Not so professional. Or zoom in to your website, I don't know, bottom of your website. Does it say copyright 2019 still? Can you fix that? Zoom into something small right in front of you. And by doing a little thing like that, it makes the bad luck stress go away, and you can start to kind of gain some momentum. So with this channel, when I'll shoot an entire segment and I forgot to turn the mic on, sometimes I won't go back and redo the whole thing because I'm thinking, oh my God, the video, I'll do something else. It'll be real small and it'll kind of get me back in the habit of action, because action cures that bad luck feeling. Okay. And so that, I think, can help some of you if you're going through bad luck or hard times. And it's kind of the same principle as in health, right? I mean, think about it. If you've got, let's say you were in a car accident. I was actually not a car accident. I was in a bicycle accident, and I was riding my bike. It was like a 10-speed bike down Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles. Anybody from LA? Okay. Wilshire Boulevard. Not exactly a quiet residential street. And I'm riding by, and there was a car parked along the side where, they're just along the side of the street. and somebody threw the door open of their car as I was riding by. They didn't look, they just threw their car door open. I hit the door. I smacked right into it's like something you'd see out of a movie. I smacked into the car door. I went flying into oncoming traffic on Wilshire Boulevard. Thank God I didn't hit any of the cars, but I smacked down onto the pavement and I messed up my shoulder. They wanted to call an ambulance, but I was like 5 blocks from my house, so I didn't want anything to do. I was so angry. So I walked back to my apartment. I wound up going to the hospital about an hour after that. You know? But my point is that there was recovery time. And so I wasn't able to go to the gym or to do things in LA that I was doing at the time. So I had to do small things to kind of build that back. So if you're having bad luck, if you're recovering from something, it's the little wins that make all the difference in the world. And I know some of you are struggling with that right now. I know some of you, I've just seen in the comments, just recognizing your names from correspondence that are struggling with that. And I really hope this helps you. All right, let me take a look at some of the, as I want to connect with you too. I don't want to just blah, 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 blah. I could be talking all day. Hello, we got, let's see, Philip Cooper. How you doing? Writing in another language. I'm sorry, I cannot read Turkish, but I'm sure it's awesome. He's giving some JPEG advice. Anybody else? Let's see. We got, wait, I got to scroll back. Okay, so that is, you know, hey Vishal, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Great to see you. And yeah, so this is the second one that I've done, and I am going to keep these up. I'm probably not going to do one every week. That's a little too much. And I don't have that much to talk about every week, but I think every 2 weeks is good. And I could use some suggestions from you, but you got to remember the format, right? It's not a regular video where I should be dominating the whole thing with laser shows and smoke and all that. It should be like an electronic campfire. We're around a campfire together. We are a campfire together. Okay. So, hey, Edwards. So we've got all kinds of photographers here. And what do you struggle with the most? You know, is it the camera settings? Because once you learn the camera settings, you learn the camera settings. You know, once you learn the exposure triangle, once you learn how a key light works and, you know, hair light and all that, what's the struggle after that? And I think it comes down to maybe people, confidence, opportunity, and certainly what's been going on in the world doesn't help. And talk about bad luck. You know, we are in a time of, well, okay, you could look at it in one of two ways. Yes, you could look at it, oh, this is the worst time in the world and the worst bad luck ever, the worst things happening. But at the same time, you know, we have people are living longer, they're healthier overall. There are some good things to be happy with, you know, in 2022. So it's a matter of mindset. Camera Tim says, let me see if I can I make these appear? Hold on. Okay. Camera Tim says, I probably just struggle with photography in general because my main passion is cinematography. So I just don't have a good grasp on handling photo shoots. So great point. Photo shoots, obviously, that's something that you need to work on. There are a gazillion YouTube videos on that. And obviously networking can help. Coming from a cinematography background, clearly you got the technical knowledge down, but certainly, you know, that you've identified, all right, this is where I'm going to need to focus. And that's the photo shoot aspect of it. So definitely you're going to want to network a bit on that and connect with other people, ideally other cinematographers, to do that. Let's see. Okay. All right. I want some of you to chime into this one too. Which film simulation to choose? You know, okay. For example, right now I'm shooting in Eterna. Okay. Because I got some helpful comments on the last live stream that my video feed was too contrasty and Eterna is less contrasty. So which film sim should you choose? First of all, you need to know what those film sims are. I mean, you need to just know. You need to know from the top of your head, Eterna is flat. Eterna is great for video. You know, Vivid is oversaturated, maybe, for nature, but if, it can dial in a little too much saturation. So know those film sims. You can go to Fuji's website and they have examples of each one and the idea behind each film sim. And if you don't know and you just want to start somewhere, then just start with the standard one, the default, Provia, I think it is. Start there. And then from there, branch out. If you're finding that Provia is too contrasty, try Eterna. If you're finding I happen to love classic chrome, but I don't use it all the time. And you shouldn't get hung up on using a single film sim 100% of the time for everything, unless you're branding something and you need a specific look across everything and it has to be that consistent. But which film sim should you use? Find out what they all do, and then whatever it is that you're shooting, see if it's a good fit for that, And if you're unsure still, then go with either pro negative. I'd go with pro negative standard, or I would go with Provia. Either one of those two to start off if you're unsure. Okay. Okay. See, Velvia, we got some great ones. Yep. Natalie is absolutely correct. Okay, so let's see here. All right, my main struggle is, boy, these are coming in faster than I can do them. Okay, my main struggle is composition. Boy, that is a struggle. And composition, good lighting is, I think, in some ways more obvious than good composition, than negative space, than things like that. Because if the lighting, let's say the lighting sucks, okay? If the lighting sucks, it's pretty obvious, right? I mean, yes, you can refine it. Now I can't get this thing on. Okay. Yes, you can refine it, but with composition, it's a little more subtle. And, that is obviously rule of thirds, things like that, leading lines. If you're unsure about composition, I would look into studying up on leading lines. In fact, a really good photographer out of San Francisco by the name of Reggie Ballesteros is amazing with his composition, particularly his composition. Go do a search on him and look at what he does and how he composes those shots. He's great. And so that would be, if you're struggling with composition, I would say look at what others are doing. Check out Reggie's work. I think that'll help you. Okay. Can we phone to shoot? Okay, I don't understand that one. Explain that one a little to me. Can you phone to shoot? I don't know what you mean. Use your phone? Yeah, you can use your phone. I'm not sure about that one, so I'm not going to fully answer because I don't know. Okay, that's a good point. Just so we're clear, when I was talking about film simulations, if you're shooting raw, film simulations for the most part are completely ignored. What the camera does is the camera writes out the raw file, okay, from the sensor. So you shoot a photo, the camera's sensor captures the light, it writes it into a raw file, and then there is additional metadata, think of like if you have a Cracker Jack box, the little toy that's inside that, right? Now I'm dating myself. But metadata is data about the data. So the metadata inside the raw file is the film simulation. And so when you take the raw file out of the camera on the SD card and you put it in your computer, it's just a bunch of binary ones and zeros. It doesn't look like a picture. There's no picture really in it. So what do? Well, the software, Lightroom, Capture One, whatever, takes that and it looks at the metadata and it goes, oh, this raw file was shot with Provia. Okay. And it does its best to bring up Provia and make it look as Provia as possible. And Capture One is really good with that. There are a couple of new software products that are coming out that will demosaic and process raw files for Fuji, and I plan on doing some reviews of those. I think it's DxO has come out with a brand new one, and I definitely want to make a video on that and check that out. Okay. All right. Yeah, Reggie, okay, let's see, raw JPEG, simulations give you an idea, blah, 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 right? All true, all good. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Okay, so let me see if I can get this here. Okay, it's not an off topic at all. This is a chat at the end of the stream where I'll talk about the molar volume of hydrogen if that's what you want to talk about. The XS10 and the Rode mic bass noise, is that noise, Florian, from the mic? Um, Possibly. I have not had that problem, but it sounds more like a hardware problem because there's not really any settings that if you switch them off. Now, is the noise consistent on the microphone? Like, or is it like sometimes people will have a mic on, and if they're using, say, the 50 to 140, lens that can get caught on the mic. So, a little more information on that, but it sounds based on what you're saying there could be an issue with the mic. Okay, good. Oh, check this out. DxO looks really, really good. Awesome. I am so excited to test it out because I am getting really sick and tired of Lightroom and Capture One mainly being the only players in town. I want more competition, just like I love Viltrox and these, Tamron and these third-party lenses coming in. That is going to do more for Fuji than anything else. Well, that, and I hope they have something big for May. I hope they do. Okay. Do I use an Hey, Mr. Jarble, do I use an EQ on the mic? And I just realized people are super, oh, now see, okay, hold on a second. People are super chatting and I'm not notified. Like I don't see the color. Okay. Street biologist, thank you. I didn't even see that until just now. And Mr. Jarble, okay, if anyone else has super chatted me and I didn't see it, I'm sorry. I'm a complete a-hole with this, but I'm seeing it now. So the question is, an EQ on the mic itself? No, never. I always use, and you should too, EQ the audio later on in post-production. You'll have a lot more control over it. The one thing that you could do, and you probably should do, okay, let me show you this. If you're on a Fujifilm camera and you're here and you're, let's see, you go into your audio settings, make sure I would turn your mic level limiter to being on, okay? Mic level limiter to being on. You can do limiting in post-production, but when you have the limiter on the camera, that's like an insurance policy that helps protect you from blowing out the highlights in your audio. Because audio that goes above 0 dB or whatever it is gets clipped, it's destroyed. You cannot fix it. I mean, there's software that can make it a little bit better, but it's ruined. So that limiter setting is really important if you're recording audio to not screw it up before you even had the chance to apply EQ to it in the first place. So I would leave that setting on your Fujifilm camera. Okay, how is affinity for raw conversion? Okay, when I tested it out, I actually came all the way down to the day before shooting the studio segment, and I had to drop that video because Fuji made an announcement about something. This was a while back, but I had used affinity and I had done a raw file comparison, and I'm going to revisit that, but I'm now going to use DxO and add that into the mix. But when I used it, I wasn't blown away by it. I don't think it's better than Capture One or well, it's better than Lightroom, but I don't think it's better than Capture One. And now my mind is blanked out. That other one, someone please help me in the chat. It's that other program. It's Iridiant developer. It's not as good as that either. I don't think, but I have not tested it as much as I probably should have. Okay, so Warren, I'm going to put this on the screen. I hope you are right. If I can get this going here. Okay, so this is what Warren says. New 35mm camera in May and a monochrome sensor camera. All right. I hope you're right. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. And Fuji I'm going to be the last person Fuji tells because the minute I find out, I'm coming here. So, all right, where are we at? Good. We got about maybe 5-10 more minutes. Okay. Do I feel I'm missing out on anything not being full frame? No, not at all. I'll tell you where I feel like I'm missing out. The GFX medium format. I really wish I had a GFX camera. And frankly, it's just the price. That is the only reason right now I don't have one. I love the GFX system. I love where Fuji's going with it. I reviewed the GFX 100S, and I mentioned in that review, and I'll mention it again, I think that's the single best camera I have ever used in my life. But it's you pay for that. I mean, it's not a cheap camera, and the files are 102 megs each, I think, for the raw or something, 150. I don't remember what it is, but yeah, I miss that. That would be if I'm never going to probably go from crop sensor to full frame. The next jump I make is definitely GFX medium format for sure. But yeah, it's quite an experience. And I'll tell you something else. It's when you play with a medium format camera, it's a mind trip, right? You load it up in Lightroom or even Photoshop, and you hit the little zoom. And it's like it just keeps going and going and going, and it's like oh look, I can see the nostril hair on that guy out in the bleachers. I mean, like, right? It's crazy. It's nuts. So yeah, I maybe I should review another GFX. I mean, just the problem with reviewing these cameras is that it takes so much work to do, and then I have to send it back. And that's really, really hard. Now, the video I put out this morning, there's an opening shot with a Fujifilm 16 to 80 millimeter lens. I mentioned it in my video this morning, and I have an opening where I come in from the earth and it zooms all the way down to the ground and I open up the lens, okay? I hid something in there I don't think anybody caught. So I'm going to say, go watch it again. And I don't know if you can fully see it. You'd almost have to go see my initial review of the 16 to 80. But when I shot that segment, even though the box said 16 to 80, I shot the segment with the 16 to 80 millimeter lens. And in the segment, when you see the box that has 16 to 80, and then I made it get electrified, right? Right before it gets electrified, you see the lens wobble issue. It's wobbling. It doesn't look good. And I saw that when I got the video, and I was like, damn it, damn it, damn it. And so I put in that stupid electricity and flashes to hide the fact that I got crappy footage. But that lens, even though it was the box I was pretending to open, I was shooting it with that lens. And so, yeah, the 16 to 80, I don't know if, what I think I'm going to do is contact Fuji and see if they can send me a loaner. Because when I originally reviewed that lens, I bought that lens with my own money. I had very high expectations for that lens, and I bought it outright from B&H. They shipped it to me. I started testing it. And again, if I was just stills only, I don't know if I would have kept it, to be honest with you. I found some softness on it. Now, a lot of that has been resolved, but the video thing, I don't know where it's at right now. So I think, in fairness to the community and to the fact that the unit that I reviewed a couple of years ago is not the same lens that's there today, I think I should get, well, Fuji, I'm going to contact you and see if you can send me a loaner, okay? Send me a loaner, 16 to 80, and I will put it through the same paces I did in that video, and we'll revisit the lens. And I think I owe that lens that for sure. Okay, I am going, first of all, thank you for the super chat. I can't even begin to pronounce this. Is it Primisal? Okay, here, this is what I'm looking at, folks. Okay, thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it. You are so awesome. Thank you. I'm the world's worst pronouncer. Okay. Okay, check my super chat. I'm looking here. All right. Andrew, thank you for the GFX fund. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I'm looking here. Hold on. Oh, wow. Wow. You guys are so nice. Thank you. And when I finish the live stream, I will go through, I always do, I read every single message. And in fact, the software that I have, it's awesome. The software that I have transcribes it into a text file. It's like an email, and I email myself. So later on, I'm going to get this big email that has everybody's messages all the way back from the moment I turned on the live stream. So whatever you type, I am going to see it. I promise you. All right. So be nice. Okay. So where are we at here? All right. I got a couple more minutes. Any other questions? Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Let me put Philip's comment on here. Yeah. And I got to say, I'm not, well, first of all, yes, photography is about capturing the moment, not the gear you capture it with. Absolutely. Absolutely. To that, I would add shoot with your heart, not your gear. Shoot with your heart. And that was the closing line when I reviewed the XT4 video. I said that. So, and I still feel that way very, very strongly. So we're approaching 100,000, and I've had this little bottle sitting in the back of this studio from day one when I painted the wall in this still crazy studio. When I started the channel, I'm almost at 100. And so have a look at this. Okay. Well, there you go. Look at that. Look at that bourbon. Right? So this is going to be opened up at 100,000. Although with the week I had, I almost opened it tonight. So we're going to be doing a celebration for the 100,000 for sure. Yeah, Woodford Reserve. Right. Well, Kentucky, that's near us. I'm Georgia. They're Kentucky. So Old Man Fuzz, how you doing? These names, Mr. Jarble, Old Man Fuzz. Where do you come up with them? Let's see. I want to make sure I'm not missing super chats. I'm going to move this monitor. Okay, hold on a minute. Thank you so much, Sky. Thank you so much. Wow. I don't expect super chats because first of all, I don't know how to handle them. I don't see them. I've got this computer right here. And if you look at what I can see, I don't know if you can see it, but it just shows everybody. It's very even. Everybody's the same. There's no mix up of super chat. It's just the same scrolling down. Okay, so thank you so much, Demo. Love your profile picture. Okay. I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody's questions. I would feel so bad if somebody particularly did a super chat and I didn't answer their question, but I think I got them. If I find a super chat that I didn't address, I will reach out to you. Hopefully in a comment, I can email you through, or I could comment back and you'll see it through YouTube. And so thank you. Andrew, thank you so much, pal. Thank you. That GFX fund is great. Okay, so yeah, you know what, Laura? Let me put this on the screen. Yeah, that would be, can you imagine that happening? Like I combine a 100K video celebration with a review of the XH1, make it like a 2-hour, like, oh my God, I can't even imagine that, no, please. I don't, it's hard. There is something that I want to tell you about this channel that I have been waiting for 3 years to tell you. And that's the reason why I started this channel. Nobody knows, not even my family. Nobody knows. So I'm going to announce it not till I get to 100,000. So it's coming. It's coming. Okay. So listen, as much as I could sit here and I'm loving this. I just love live. I love live. There's just this element of unpredictability, of just connecting with you. This electronic campfire, is it still on? Yes, it is. The more I sort through these technical glitches, the more I'm going to be more comfortable doing it. And let that be a lesson to some of you, okay? Live streaming for me is the last thing I want to do. It's stressful as you know what. So find something in your photography that really stresses you out, but you feel like you need to learn, okay? Composition, lighting, rules of third, or whatever. Find something and deal with it. Or maybe it's connecting with people. You cannot exist in a vacuum, and it's so important to surround yourself with positive people that are interested in what you're interested in. Because if you spend, and listen to me real carefully here, this is why I think sites like Twitter really suck in a lot of ways. If you spend a majority of your time where everyone else has a megaphone and they're just in their own little bubble, that's not connecting. What I mean is you want to somehow connect with people and as best you can that are interested in specifically what you're interested in. Because if you don't do that and you spend your days either alone or you spend your days connecting with people that maybe they're passionate about football, that's sports or whatever, you're going to feel you're not going to be as excited about what you're doing. It's not going to be as important. It's not going to be as special. And you're not going to feel as good about yourself and what you're doing. So let me be the first to say, okay, if you're feeling that way, I'm excited about what you're doing. I'm so excited. I'm like shaking right now. I'm so excited about this. I love this. I love this community. I think if you're watching this video right now, you're doing it right. Sorry, live stream. If you're watching this live stream right now, you're doing it right. You're connecting online. We're connecting around this electronic campfire. Is it as good as in person? No, but it's better than nothing. And there are a lot of people here that love cameras, love photography. It's their passion. Maybe they're not making as much money at it as they want to, right? We could all use a little more of that. But you know what? They're out there and they're doing it. And they all have their struggles and we all have things to deal with. And welcome to the club. So if you've picked up your camera for the first time, welcome to the crazy Fujifilm family. If you've had a camera for 40 years and you've forgotten more than I'll ever know, welcome anyway. Teach us something. So I wanted to say that. And I think we are at the point at which I'm going to sign off. Okay, so I got to back to this techno stuff. Okay, let's see here. No, Eric, are you out of your freaking mind? Okay. Right. I'm just going to say thank you so much. All right. All right. Let me try I'm practicing now. All right. Video. All right. Let's see. First, I want to say, live stream intro. Okay. Goodbye. Closing. All right. Showing current scene. All right. Here we go. So, if you like this live stream, be sure to give it the like and subscribe. Did I get that one right? Oh my goodness, I did. Okay. Hey, I got it. I got it working. All right. So I got that out of the way. I'm going to be signing off now. Have a wonderful weekend. I will be reviewing all of the chat comments later tonight. So if I don't see yours, if I didn't see yours or I didn't mention it, and especially if you super chatted me, I'm so sorry, but I will see it. And have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to kind of get out of here. I need a break. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to spend time with my family. I want you to do something creative. I want you to take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one very soon. I'm going to be signing off now, and I will say goodbye to you. Thank you for joining me, and take care.